Mm.
Hello and most welcome to 2021 of Laughter Yoga book review and readout. And we are presently at chapter 18. Most welcome. Laughter Yoga for healing, therapeutic effects. I have not seen anybody dying of laughter. I know millions who are dying because they are not laughing. People who practice laughter yoga regularly report a significant improvement in health. Their blood pressure and blood sugar levels stay under control, and the number of pills they take reduces. Those suffering from arthritic pain do not feel the need to take painkillers, while others say that they sleep better without sedatives. At my clinic, I started making patients laugh after handling them a prescription and encouraged them to keep down laughter exercises at home with their family. Surprisingly, I noticed that they healed faster and wanted to learn more exercises when they visited next. This made me believe that laughter had a therapeutic effects. As a doctor, I know that 50% of all illnesses are due to organic cause. For instance, the hardening of blood vessels in hypertension and the deficiency of insulin in diabetes. The other 50% are psychosomatic reactions like, what will happen to me? How long will it last? How much will I suffer? This is where laughter yoga helps. It creates a healing environment in the body by reducing stress levels and making the immune system stronger. The immune system. According to psychoneuroimmunology, our mind plays an important role in manifestation and healing of a disease, which has both mental and physical components. Laughter, being a positive energy, takes care of the mental component instantly and creates a positive environment for the healing process to begin. The therapeutic and healing effects of laughter can be attributed to a strong immune system and increased oxygen levels in the cells.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Laughter boosts the immune system. A weak immune system is the major cause of almost all sickness. In fact, we end up spending a lot of money on prescription drugs while overlooking the natural coping mechanisms of the body. A weak immune system is also responsible for the development of cancer. Laughter quickly increases immunoglobulin levels that help fight infection and increases the number of NK cells in the blood.
Hallelujah.
According to Dr. Lee Burke, laughing makes the body stronger as T cells, NK cells, and antibodies show increased activity. Laughter should be combined with other forms of treatment to provide cancer patients with an improved quality of life and the best possible chance of survival.
Hallelujah.
The disease-fighting proteins trigger an increase in IFN, a blood chemical that transmits messages and stimulates the immune system. An increase in immunoglobulin B aids defense against the entry of infectious organisms through the respiratory tract. In general, laughter builds resistance against infections by increasing the concentration of circulating antibodies and white blood cells in the bloodstream.
Hallelujah.
Oxygen for healing. Oxygen is one of the primary catalysts for all metabolic reactions in the human body. Ongoing studies show that a lack of oxygen is a major cause of most diseases. Huh? No oxygen! Oh! Laughter yoga flushes the lungs and oxygenates the blood and major organs, leaving one feeling energetic and free from diseases. Research has also shown that cancer cells are destroyed in the presence of oxygen.
Oi. Oi.
In fact, many parasites and bacteria don't survive well in the presence of oxygen. This is why increasing the oxygen levels with laughter exercise is a great way to combat diseases.
Oi, 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 oi,
Dr. Otto Warburg spoke about the role of oxygen in maintaining good health. According to him, deep breathing techniques increases the flow of oxygen to the cells, and are the most important factors in living in a disease-free and energetic life. When cells get enough oxygen, cancer will not and cannot occur. Incidentally, yeah, Dr. Warburg is the only person to have won the Nobel Prize.
Twice! Oi, 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 oi,
And to
oi,
be
hallelujah,
nominated
hallelujah,
a third
fantastic great
time.
man. Oh! Not Barber, not Wartburg.
Scientific studies has also proved that just a few days of laughter exercises and deep breathing lowers blood pressure, thus reducing the risk of a heart attack. It improves circulation and increases the supply of oxygen. According to research conducted in Bengaluru, India, a 10-minute laughter session can help reduce blood pressure by 10 to 20 millimeters. Laughter may not be a cure, but it does help to reduce the frequency of medication and even stop it.
Halleluja. Oj, 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 oj.
Too much cholesterol in the blood can lead to the hardening and narrowing on arteries, arteriosclerosis. A daily dose of laughter opens them up and allows the blood to flow freely to all parts of the body, thus preventing a cardiac failure.
Oj, 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 oj.
I think you can read that witnessing as well yourself. It's in there if you want to. I don't. It's just a improvement of the text. Laughter, yoga, and diabetes. I think you can read that as well if you're interested. It's probably good for you. We carry on to the next.
Bronchitis.
Bronchitis and asthma. Laughter has a positive impact on allergies, with many practitioners reporting improvement of some symptoms of asthma and chronic bronchitis. I remember a gentleman who was severely asthmatic and used to travel 10 to 15 kilometers every day to participate in a laughter session. Since he started practicing laughter yoga, he told me that he hardly uses his inhaler. The usual prescription for asthma and bronchitis is chest physiotherapy to remove mucus from the respiratory passage. Blowing forcefully into an instrument or balloons are among the common exercises asthmatics are asked to do. Laughter yoga does the same job more easily and at no cost. Well, why not be natural? It's a natural, normal human habit to laugh. We all do it if we can be led to be normal 300 to 400 times a day. I think that is better than laughter. How about balloons or any other implement? It increases the antibody levels in the mucous membranes of the respiratory passage, thereby reducing the frequency of chest infections. It also tones up the mucus clearing system of bronchial tubes. Frequently, belly laughter empties your lungs of more air than you take in, resulting in a cleansing effect similar to that of deep breathing. This can be especially beneficial for patients who suffer from emphysema and other respiratory ailments, cancer, and other chronic illnesses. Those suffering from life-threatening diseases not only go through physical pain, but also face immense psychological trauma. Not just the patient, but even the family, friends, and caregivers need relief from the stress. A positive mental attitude greatly influences the course of the disease. We have had many members suffering from cancer, immune disorders, multiple sclerosis, and other chronic diseases who reported relief from their symptoms after practicing laughter yoga. In the past, inspired by research on laughter, many cancer patients tried to use humor in order to laugh away their tumor, but it's not easy to laugh in a situation as that.
Oi,
This is where
poetry. Use humor in order to laugh away the tumor.
This is where laughter yoga has an advantage. Since it is a physical method, it's ideal for cancer groups that can practice laughter as a form of exercise with no need for humorous interventions. It may not cure the disease, but it definitely helps to enhance one's ability to cope with it and improve the chances of survival. I think it's important here to point one thing out. Many people had commented when I spoke in lectures that especially people of Eastern origin extraction, Japanese don't seem to be that laughing. The idea of laughing yoga is to restore the body into balance, the T1 muscles and the N1 neurons. You will not have to laugh all the time, even smile. But in order to become your natural original force, the pre-Newtonian way of being, you need to train laughing. Once you're healed, there's no incessant need to laugh all the time or smile all the time, but you should continue to laugh. You will laugh naturally. But don't be fooled by stern faces. They are all natural. Japanese people have T1 and N1 muscle and neurons in themselves as they are. They already have a posture balance. At least most of them could have changed the last couple of years, but don't look too much for smiling faces. It's not a necessity, but it is a good way of getting healthy again. It's equivalent to that in the beginning of a training session, you need to train harder if you want to build up muscles. Once you are in the mood, you don't need as much. And once you, for instance, learn the language, you learn, for instance, Portuguese. Once you learn it, you won't take any effort. You don't have to incessantly train it in the same way. You will still speak it, but it will come natural. This will also be a comment to Sadhguru, who was looking for the natural laughter. He might have it, and most Indians do have it. But this is the side he doesn't understand. Let's carry on. We can skip this testimonial because you can read that yourself. So we go to the text.
Let's mock Sadhguru even more.
I do like his comment. It's a natural comment. We need to bring that up. Laughter, yoga, and depression. Depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide. Think about that, number one, and the major contributor to the overall global burden of diseases. More women are affected by depression than men, and it is a combination of symptoms that interfere with the ability to work, study, sleep, and eat. A disabling condition, it can affect a person many times during their life. You must have noticed that depressed people seldom laugh. If they ever laugh. How many people who laugh are standard depressed? Laughter yoga has helped thousands of people over the world to overcome severe depression, as it uses laughter as a physical exercise rather than using cognitive humor. This means that anyone can laugh regardless of their state of mind and cognitive ability. It is not unusual for people who have suffered long-term depression to recover through laughter, even after years of antidepressants. Laughter yoga creates a positive state of mind and fosters a hopeful attitude with increased optimism. This makes the world seem like a wonderful place, full of fun and interesting people with a great potential for achievement and happiness. In this state, one is less likely to succumb to feelings of depression and helplessness. Laughter works as a mind depressant as it releases endorphins and dolphins. Giving the body pain-relieving effects and the mind a feeling of well-being. It also boosts optimism, self-confidence, and feelings of self-worth. And self-worth. Depression-linked stress switches off body systems not required for a fight or flight response. These include the immune, digestive, and sexual systems. Thus, chronic stress or depression causes one to lose interest in activities that bring pleasure, including sex and food. The weakened immune system leaves one prone to illness and disease. Laughter yoga has the opposite effect on the body. It boosts the immune, digestive, and sexual systems. Depression is often associated with physical pain, feeling of despair, loss of appetite, immobility, insomnia, and cardiovascular problems. Practicing laughter yoga regularly helps to resolve most of these symptoms. I will just read this Diane Thiel McNinch. In January 1997, my thoughts about committing suicide became frequent. In April 1997, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. Over time, my condition worsened. You need to be quicker there, Kalle. Come on, next. Please. Kalle.
What?
Come on. Deteriorated, and I spent over $400 on medication each month. Wow. First, I heard about laughter yoga and I began Dancing with the Stars. It seemed delightful. On April 11th, 2007, I happened to see a laughter yoga session on the Oprah Winfrey Show. The Oprah Winfrey! Before the show ended, I had signed up for May Sierra Madre training, and I tried to find a local laughter group. The next day, I met Jeffrey, a laughter yoga teacher, who what? Guided me through my initial session. Hello!
Sexy the cape.
The next day, I met Jeffrey, a laughter yoga teacher, who guided me through my initial session. Just 2 months after my first laughter experience, my use of medication was diminished by 80%. And let's take it out. A whopping 80%. In fact, I'm completely off medication now. End up saving a lot. I sleep better, and people tell me that I look great. That too at the age of 64. 64. 4. Isn't that great? Laughter, anxiety, and panic attacks. Mental and emotional stress triggers the body's arousal mechanism by stimulating the sympathetic system and producing physiological and biochemical changes that led to anxiety and even panic attacks. It is apparent that one's state of mind directly affects breathing. When in a stressful state, the breathing pattern alters drastically. It becomes faster, shallower, and irregular. Sometimes people even hold their breath under stress, which leads to an accumulation of carbon dioxide in the blood. Laughter yoga provides an excellent cardiac workout and triggers a breathing pattern that provides a significant respiratory benefits. It lowers!
Oh,
the amount of residual air in the lungs and replaces it with oxygen-rich air. This reduces the level of carbon dioxide in the lungs, thereby reducing the risk of pulmonary affections. Well, especially in these days with COVID breathing along. By shifting the breathing pattern from shallow to deep diaphragmatic breathing, it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the cooling branch of the autonomic nervous system and the opposite of the sympathetic stress arousal system. This scientific phenomenon, coupled with the ancient yogic wisdom of breathing, makes this concept a unique exercise regime to relieve stress and anxiety. Wow!
Oi, 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 oi. Ah, oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi.
Let me just mention in this circumstance, many people take pills against depression. They only cure the symptoms. They give artificial energy to a system that is still out of balance. So they give a boost. They work a little bit like a drug that gives energy from nowhere. It doesn't mean that you are healed, because you are healed when you laugh 300 to 400 times a day, like any natural person. It's a bit like saying you can get healed when you're no longer breathing, when you have a plastic bag over your head or something. It doesn't make any sense. And especially anxiety and panic attacks, they are incurable most or less with pills. They can only lower the amount of them, and it lowers it with severe side effects. It's a bit like a light lobotomy. You don't feel anything more, and therefore you don't get panic attacks because you've lost your sensitivity. Depression curing fashions with medication usually lowers the perception of you being sick. So you're no longer able to feel how you are sick. Is that a cure? I think that equals like somebody broken his leg and he's taken to the hospital and the doctor says, let's put a blanket over your leg and then we can no longer see it. It's
We need more
ludicrous.
blankets.
Yeah. Kalle here is especially fond of Monty Python, but it's wrong to think that Monty Python is crazier than the world today. They're not. The world today is that crazy. Let me give you some example from Ian McGilchrist. We live today in an environment that is dominated by the left hemisphere. Left hemisphere feeds no humor, don't understand anything but seriousness. So that state is already established before you start educational system. That will engraven the situation because you're already suffering from these things. You do not come in as a natural person into the schooling system. You do not. Your bodily system is out of whack. It's very, very rare to find a person that has normal muscular makeup. That means that they are not balanced when it comes to the posture muscles contra the fight and flight response muscles and neurons. It's never the case. So that is already established, and that means that you will learn out of fear. So you will have that fear reflex already established. Isn't that interesting? It's already there. And it's an important science that brought in by Ian McGilchrist. We live in a state of constant fear. All of us, not only these people that have panic attacks or anxiety attacks or depression or maybe only milder cases of worry. There's something called general anxiety depression and general anxiety syndrome and such stuff. Those things are already present to a certain degree. We're all inclined to overreact with fear. So fear has become the dominant motivator today, not joy, not creativity, not happiness. No, that's like laughter brings that into spring again. Laughter makes that the whole world bloom again. It alleviates the tremendous pain people are feeling because we no longer laugh. Laughing is the natural state. So in a way, we don't need to we were still going to have motivation here in these lectures, but really, you all deserve to be natural and normal. The sort of zero state is not normal anymore. We are no longer normal beings because we already stopped doing what is normal to us. That is laughing. Same goes for the muscular system. We're no longer upright. We're no longer widened. We're no longer deep. We are like this. And that's not normal for any body. I use this in a double sense. For no one and for no corporal body or soul for that matter. This is a tendency that's been going on since the 18th century. It's well engraved within language as well. It's the default state, if you like. So laughter yoga is fantastic because it does address this as the only thing, something of a disease we don't even have a name of because it's the normal way of being. So you don't have to be ill to be motivated to do yoga exercise. I think I need to enforce that because so many examples lately in these lectures have been about people who've been suffering from different things, but it does also it's a gain for everyone. for the inventor, for the physicist, for the one who's curious, the artist, who had more humor than Picasso, for instance. Although he's supposed to be a serious person, he had a lot of humor. I think that's well worth thinking about. Isn't it? And you see here, maybe we should take the photo big. I don't know how to do it, but my redness is sort of coming through here. This is oxygen coming to the skin once more. My circulation is becoming progressively better because of oxygenation. The oxygenation is not only in the motion of the laughter, because you open up here. Therefore, the rest of the day you can breathe better. You don't have to laugh all the time, but you need to do your laughing exercise to become natural. I don't know if you're going to do this testimonial. Well, I just mentioned a little bit. Here is an incredible story of a woman who suffered from severe anxiety and panic attacks since 8 years of age. Wow.
Oh.
Right from the childhood, she was plagued by intensely negative emotions that made her life miserable. Depressed and dejected for years, she had almost given up on life when she discovered the world of laughter yoga. Her life changed for the better, and the attacks became less frequent. I'm just going to mention very briefly from the whole testimony here, because it's quite enlarged and they all say more or less the same. Little things were enough to set off panic attacks. That's very typical of today. Many young people today do suffer severely from panic attacks, and there is no cure from them. You can only lower the perception of the panic and make a sort of illusion that they no longer exist. But they will be under the surface constantly. That's one of the problems with panic attacks and the treatment. But think about yourself, is really chemical something that makes sense? Are we so ill fit to be living in the modern world? Is the modern world so absolutely alien? Or is it we who are enforcing this? Our natural state could be the negative thing. And if not addressed, it will not be helpful. There is a very good example, and I think we put a stop here after this natural painkiller with the first sentence. And forever we're going to be the last one on this thing here.
Okay. Also, and forever. Page in my PDF, page 149. Forever.
You must mention the number 2,122.
Yes, 2121.
2121 it is.
Yes, 2121.
Okay.
Page 149. Forever was the last word.
Like laughing yoga. We can We can take it. I think we can take away the text so we can be shown a bit more. And we come to the conclusion. Kalle, if you just take away the text for a while, if you can.
Okay.
We don't need it. We don't need it. It's
let me see. So stop share. Okay.
yeah, you can stop share so we can see each other instead. Hopefully we can see Kalle soon. We see on the way, if you have any suggestions, his Wi-Fi can become better. Please help out. He's working constantly now from a hotspot he makes from his mobile. Where is the best spot to put the hotspot? Close to the window, or he should try out different directions. It's usually one direction that is much, much better than all others. But my personal confession is it's become much easier to laugh, especially Carl and me have been doing some conversations over the phone. Well, conversations, we've been laughing mostly. That has become very, very helpful, actually. And it becomes much easier. So find your own way. And always, as long as they work, are good, as long as they make you laugh. Maybe from the exception of taking some sort of there's something called laughing gas. Have you heard about that, Kalle?
Yeah, vaguely.
Don't use that. And the laughing we and Kalle are sharing with you now, nothing of this is natural in the Rousseau way. Remember, the Western society has a fixation with the natural. It's an absolute fixation. And I think this has been with us since the ancient times with the Greek, this idea that something inside is natural. Don't force anything, don't fake anything, be true from the inside out. How many philosophers haven't said that? And the true experience is especially enforceable in classical physics, like Jacques Monod, if you remember him, the complete lunatic who drives the whole thing even further. He says in an over-serious voice, which I think it's the opposite of science. Over-serious voice, he says, if I can exterminate myself when I do my scientific studies. Have you heard it? It is a trend. It's the current trend. It's the dominating trend. It's the trend that Sadhguru jumps on as well by habit, or like everything, like because everyone else does it. There's no other reason for it. Everyone does it. It's the natural idea is extremely prevalent in the Western world. It should be natural somehow. Natural. In a way, it's extremely funny, but here you have the chance of becoming something better, something more. And it ain't normal in a way, because the normal state is not laughing. The normal state is not balanced with the bodily system. It's not, you might even say it's not natural, but in a way it's natural, but it's not normal, definitely not. But it will be healthier That I can assure you. And it will help the intellectual system. Something clearly pointed out by Edward de Bono. There is no creativity without humor. Humor is creativity. So humor is not a surplus. I remember my academic studies for the professors and the educators. Humor was something extra, but it was never part of the core. It was something that I think maybe Derrida would point it out as a supplement. It was to make the seriousness of the education bearable. So they added humor on the side, but the actual message should be completely humorless. And that is the tricking. That's the way you get tricked. So look out with that. It's a way of tricking people. Humor should be inside the message, not without it. And I don't even demand people to be too funny when they do the lecture, but the humor should be inside. Well, I think it should be accompanied by humor as well, like a happy face and laughter. But it should be the actual message that gives off the laughter. But never, ever in modern academia, never happened to me. And let's see who pointed out this. The opposite of a fundamental truth is also a fundamental truth. Now, this is reiterated by Ian McGilchrist. The inventor of this, the originator, I think it's
Niels Bohr.
Yes, Niels Bohr.
Yes.
So it comes from the maybe most important figure in science, all categories, at least modern science. Is just next to Newton. He says that, so that humor should be inside the message. But it's so tricky. We all fell for that. So they say, oh, now comes something serious. Now we're going to do Bible study. We're going to find the original. Or now we're going to do this psychiatry. Or now we're going to psychology. And then it's laughing on the side. Look out for that. That's trickery. Derrida pointed out it so well and smoothly. And his conversations with, what's his name, Sears, he constantly said that thinking knowledge itself is the humor. And Sears was a funny guy, but never inside it. Inside the text was absolute boredom. Now these are blank pages, but it was a blank from knowledge as these are. And there's no humor, there is no message either. Absolutely no message at all. I also think about that priest who never laughed and thought he could do his chores to make up, like mechanically do his chores. So without laughing, without showing any religiousness, because I think there's no combination, no humor, no laughter, and being religious. That doesn't work either. So he can just do it as a Newtonian mechanical thing, and he adds up points in heaven. No. No laughter effectively closes the key to the pearly gates. There will be no opening whatsoever. It will be ludicrous. The only trait that actually takes us away from, that defines us as human beings is laughter. That is the heavenly spiritual thing. Take that away, there is no spiritual thing. It's just Newtonian Cartesian seriousness. Okay, we continue here. Just wrap up the whole thing. And what do you say, Kalle? Don't you think these sessions we had just by happenstance, where we called on phone and made jokes, the jokes were like how do you say in a Jesuit manner, the means to make the goal, or the means that the end sort of justifies the means. What do you think about that, Kalle? Let's hear your meaning.
Let me see if I understood your question. We did some traditional jokes, which is
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever works.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
yeah.
shouldn't, because no, we shouldn't do it in a group because you will soon end up with jokes, and it's so easy that you get in a inappropriate joke. So,
No. We
of course,
managed.
it is very beneficial. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. I think that
Mhm.
if it's a funny painting or a drawing, because what I think could be good to point out, sometimes it's very hard to laugh, especially it's almost impossible by yourself. I noticed that. My hard spot is in the mornings. I don't feel like laughing at all. But if I have this friend, he's enormously funny. It's like he says things all the time and he triggers those funny things. And I think that comes hand in hand with a happy person, a healthy person. He he had a severe asthma, pretty almost killing asthma. And he told me once that he lost it in his youthhood, late youthhood, when he was like about 20. And I bet you that he laughs maybe a couple. I wouldn't be surprised that he laughs like 200-300 times a day, even more. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. He's a very special person. And that sort of helps me to go through those periods. I think we need maybe sometimes to have some, like if you've broken your leg, you need crutches. Isn't that true?
Yes, absolutely.
That is quite funny, actually. I do remember in India, was most often the case that people added things, they said things. So I think that came almost like simultaneous, a complementarity between what they said and the laughing they did. So maybe the humor or the jokes or whatever it is could be a gesture, a fun gesture, or a face. Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot the face. I'm not very good with my facial gestures, being a Swede. It's not my strong sense. But are you familiar with Dr. Paul Ekman, Kalle?
Paul Ekman.
Ekman, yeah, Ekman.
No, sorry, no.
He made extensive facial studies and he showed that many people had a sort of mini face before they showed a face. So there could be a smile, but just before they made their smile, it was a face so brief, so it could not be seen by the conscious eye. That could be of disgust, anger, or whatever. And that, I think that can be overcome with a joke or a gesture. It could linger on into the actual therapy because, as Paul Ekman, he's very interesting actually. I think he's from New York and he's been working with years with faces. It's incredibly interesting who shows how we have like a micro expression. I think he calls it micro expression. Sorry to get so boring, but that shows the opposite emotion, sometimes opposite, or at least to some ways contradictory face.
Okay, that's interesting because we have something, synchronicity has, I will show you something relating to
I'll
this.
just say, it'd be better if you just say it.
No, because this is, please allow me to share it. Let me see. So, because it's from today.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Share. Op, 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 op. No, please share. Oh.
Yeah, otherwise you can just say. It's okay.
No, let me share. I think it's better. So visuals are good. So today Dr. Kataria published this video. You see the pen.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
So this relates what you say about Ekman.
Yeah. It keeps it up. His aim is not to prove that laughter is good, but he's been done extensive research on this area, and it's incredibly interesting. And doing laughter yoga can get you into even more, because it's fake it until you make it. This is true laughter. It's not the micro face that goes on before, which is quite common actually. It could be a smile somebody give to someone else, and there's a micro expression, and it's the micro expression that the other person receive. That's the message. Isn't that interesting? What do you say? Should we end there?
Let me say something only very quickly.
Yeah.
So today is a historic date because Trump goes to the White House.
Don't show that, Kalle, please. It becomes a little bit boring. Just take the screen away.
No, we could say that we should really make laughter great again.
No, well, if you're not Trump supporter, that won't work. But
That's perhaps why he published this video today, to fake laughter.
I would go for another idiom. I would say make human healthy again. Make him or her whole. Oh, why not whole? Wholeness into action. That's my suggestion anyway. And you can think, you can choose, take whatever suits you. Well, thank you very much for coming. Yeah.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. It was
I
great
wanted to say that I really slept.
Thank you everyone for joining. It was nice to hear everything from you, wherever you are in the world. Have a nice morning, day, afternoon, or evening, or night, wherever you are around the globe. Bye-bye for now.
Dr. Katari is a great sect leader.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.